This video is part of my full Spring Boot Fundamentals course. Check out the topic in the description and get access to all my courses. Are beans created one time and then just reused every time in our application, or a new one is created every time? And the answer is simply yes. That is because beans have different scopes that we can define as programmers. And the default one is the singleton. That means that there's one instance for this bean in our container, and it's best for stateless services, for example. And how we define this scope is using the scope annotation. And for example, we use singleton. Okay, but singleton is default, so basically this is redundant. Also, there is a prototype. Okay, and prototype works this way that new instance of this class is created every time, and it's best for example, like some value classes or classes that are used one time and then we just forget about them, or they have some state that we need to restart every time. So let's test the prototype version. So for example, I will create a var service 1 context get bean notification service and create service 2. And we will see that we should get 2 notification services. But if we change it now to notification service and instead of using prototype, I will use singleton, okay, we should only get one one-on-one, and it was created at the beginning of the initialization, right? And even though we called the get bean 2 times, we get only one service. There's also a request scope that is for every new instance for every HTTP request. Also, there is a session for every HTTP session, and also there's application for entire application. We can basically, instead of using the string for like the web scopes, we can use, for example, the application scope. We can also use the request scope, and we also can use the session scope. Okay, so this is how you modify the scopes of the beans. But also, beans go through life cycles. And basically, life cycle is like this. We initialize, then we inject some dependencies, then we use the object, and then when we no longer eat it, we destroy this object. And we can hook to the different parts of this process. And we do that by creating methods that we annotate with special annotations. So we will create public, for example, void init. We can call it however we like, only the annotation matters, and I will give south notification service init, for example. And how we now hook to this process is using the post construct annotation. It's ideal for example, initializing some like connections, some resources, after we are sure that every dependency was injected. Okay, so let's go to run it. And as you can see, after the object was created, object is created, and then the init is called. But also, I would like to, for example, clear all of the resources of this object before it is destroyed, so we don't have any like memory leaks. So how we do it? For example, I will create void cleanup. As I said, we can give whatever name we want and you use cleanup. And we do that by adding pre-destroy annotation. Okay, we run our application again. And what happens? We don't see this destroy because the object wasn't destroyed, because our context is still alive and it shouldn't destroy it. So right now I will delete it and just where is the notification service? We don't have any context here, so okay. So let's go back to application, and instead of using application context, I'm going to use configurable application context. Configurable application context, okay, yeah. classic IntelliJ. Okay. And this allow us to basically close the context, close, okay? And now we should see the destroyed object. Yeah, and notification service cleanup was called. So this is how you hook to the lifecycle hooks. We learned today how to use bean scopes, how to hook to lifecycle hooks. And now let's go to the next lesson.